Montana State's a good program, and I know that's coach speak, but they are, and I thought they did a really good job tonight. You know, executing their game plan, and we hung in there, and luckily we're playing at home, and you kind of, did enough to get us over the top. But I tip my hat to them.
See more teams, even though this is their style, kind of slow it down, beat possessions, keep you from possessions.
I don't know what the exact possession numbers are, but you still scored 85 points, and I don't think we even shot a great percentage, did we? So, the points were there for the taking. We just maybe missed some shots that, we're hoping to make. And, but again, we got to get better. We got to get better. And that's been my message to the guys. And, a few wins in November and December, doesn't mean you're a great team. And, we played a really good Creighton team in Maui. I think it's a good team. Obviously, they've had an injury. They've had a tough stretch. Indiana, it's a really good ball club, played them. Then, after they got done with us, hit a tough stretch a little bit. So, there's no givens in this deal. And we got to make sure that, we're on it.
You had a similar situation last week. You played Corpus Christi after the big win in Indiana. This time, big win off Tennessee. Is there a difference there? Was there maybe a little bit of energy?
I understand what the connection they're trying to make, but when you sit in my seat, and you're trying to drive a culture, there's standards, and I just didn't. We got to meet those standards no matter who we're playing. Come on, these college guys play 35, 40 games if they're lucky. Like, you got to be excited to play. And I'm not saying we didn't. I'm not saying we didn't play hard, but I don't know if we played hard enough. I just feel like our teamness at times can be a little disconnected, and I don't like that feel. And it just doesn't sit well with me. And it doesn't mean I'm mad at the guys or anything like that, but there just has to be a feel with how you operate on a day-to-day basis, in the game, that just has to feel better. And, it's hard to define what that is, but I didn't feel it today.
Did you feel like with Kerr that, especially after being sick last week, that at least he was going to be pretty motivated to go out there?
Listen, I thought Kerr played fine. I thought he played really well. He hit some big shots. Murph mentioned to me, he watched him really closely defensively and thought he did a good job trying to make a lot of smart decisions on defense. So Kerr wasn't an issue tonight.
Are you a tosser and turner after a game like this when you get in bed?
Nope. Sleep number. You got to get it. Unbelievable. Yeah, I sleep pretty good. I might not sleep long, but I'll sleep pretty good usually.
Someone texted me during the game. I didn't see it. That you were upset with Pellet. Were you upset with Pellet?
Yeah, listen, Pellet's a heck of a ball player, and just he just got to tone down the drama. And I'm not saying that it's like trying to accentuate every foul. Like, just score the basket. He has the one, the bank he hits before he gets fouled, and it looks like somebody shot him. Okay, he's too good of a player to do that. And so I just told him, you got a responsibility. When you get on that cut or that fast break, we need a basket. We don't need a highlight. We need a basket. And just too often, there's just a little extra. And then you back that up, and Cedric does something very similar on a 1-on-3 fast break. So we don't get either foul call, we get nothing. So we need results. And that's my message to them. I love those guys. I tell them I love them all the time. Okay, but I want them to be great basketball players. And it's my job to tell them the hard things. And I'm probably not always right, but generally I think I have their best interest in mind.
Are those bad habits that just come naturally during the season?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into every detail. It's just, we got to make some adjustments in how we play, and individually and as a team. And in order to get better over the course of a season, individuals need to buy into those adjustments. It's that simple, whatever they may be. I thought last year we had some guys that did an incredible job of that, of week to week, taking the things that we were telling them and growing and growing and growing, and then making them their habits. And that's what I'm looking for.
A lot of us have been asking about the bench. You went to Boswell a lot, it seemed like.
I want to play that bench more, and it's my fault. Those guys, but again, Montana State's a really good team, and like when you put your bench in, you don't want to be at a disadvantage. And, I felt at times tonight like, man, if I sub too much, we might be at a little bit of a disadvantage. So, I mean, so that's a credit to Montana State.
Kylan, you've had, almost 15 minutes. You saw something from him, or what?
Kylan's playing good. He's not perfect, by any stretch. He's young. He's making some young mistakes, I mean, I could think of a couple right off the top of my head, but I don't expect him to be perfect. But I expect him to learn from these mistakes, and then the next time, make fewer mistakes.
So most of us have been here a long time, and there's always a trend, there had been a trend under Lloyd a lot. The game before Christmas and the getaway games or whatever, they struggled. Did you suffer that at Gonzaga?
I don't know. Hey, you know me, game to game. I'm not great at reminiscing, and I think there's a lot of canned excuses we can use to make ourselves feel better, but for some reason they don't work with me. So I just want us to have a better feel and play better basketball. And we won by 20, but you still have standards that you got to hit, okay? And so I want those standards hit, more often, because I want this team to be really successful this year.
There's been it seems like a few flopping technicals called lately. Is it just the way it's been, or do you see them being more?
They're called. It's part of the rule package now. So, if you go down and the ref, in his judgment it's a flop, they call it. It don't matter if I agree with it or not. It is what it is. So, but the other thing I'm not happy about is non-flopping technical fouls. So we got to tighten that up. This isn't the NBA where you get a technical every game or every other game. It's just not how it is. It's just not great team basketball.
That's it. Kerr had one.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
You sit right in front of you, actually.
Yeah. He's got to fix that. He's got to knock it off.
A double ball. Status of a double.
Yeah, his ankle's been bothering him. He looked like he was playing on one leg tonight. So, I just didn't feel good about putting him back in there.
What's any connection Morgan State on Thursday? I understand it was, I think, the last.
I haven't watched 1 second of Morgan State. I couldn't tell you one player on their roster. When I get home tonight, I'll open my computer and I'll start doing my research and get ready for practice tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, what led to the scheduling of them, or did you guys?
It was just told, hey, we could play Morgan State on December 22nd. We had trouble getting some games in November when we had a few gaps. So here we are, playing December 22nd. There's no crazy rhyme or reason. It's just how it worked out.
How do you balance with the players the fact that they look at the final score, won by 21, but you're clearly not happy with quite a few things?
Well, they know. And then, listen, I don't yell at them all the time or berate them about it. There just has to be a general feel within a program of how you're playing. And the players know when it feels right and doesn't feel right. And we got to fight to make it feel right. And so that's what I'm fighting for. And they know I have high standards. They know that we're relentless on that stuff. So, and then I talk to them individually about it, like what I'm looking for, why I'm feeling, and then hopefully we come out and they get better from it. We have conversations.
You were talking about technical fouls. Is a day coming that you're going to get one?
I hope not. Why would I want to get a technical foul when I can't score a basket? So why should I be costing us points? I'd probably cost us enough points with the coaching decisions I'm making. So I don't need to be literally costing us points. And the referees, for the most part, do a great job. They really do. So, I don't have. I'm sure I will someday. Whether I deserve it or not, I don't know. That'll be another question, but it's not at the top of my agenda.
With that ARC decision last week, you can, as I understand it, you can take that scholarship loss now. And since you're down to only have 12, is it safe to assume you're going to do that? Or are you
we're still having conversations about all that. I've just told everybody, hey, obviously the school and the program went through a lot the last few years. Let's take a breath, get through these games, and then we can start dissecting, what actually happened, and obviously, there were penalties, the program suffered a lot, and all parties suffered, and now we're through it, and, thankfully everybody can move on, all parties. And so I think it's a great opportunity to hit reset a little bit, but, we honestly haven't even sat down and had conversations on what it looks like, or exactly. I haven't even sat down with, it'll probably be Brent here soon, and he'll interpret all these things for me, and so all these legalese things that I'm not used to.
Well, it just looked like that was, obviously scholarship losses and postseason bans are probably the things that talked about the most, and those didn't really happen. Again,
Well, they did happen. They did happen. They did happen. They were self-imposed. They happened.
But you knew when it was in your contract, you could have had another year and they were going to extend
Yeah.
the contract.
Well, you know what? I'm not sitting up here worried about my contract right now. Sitting up here worried about making my team feel better and play better.
I guess my question is, overall though, overall your thought, you had been bracing for maybe losing multiple scholarships, for example. I know you talked about that in recruiting. Now maybe, is it not so bad? What's your general?
I mean, my general feel is we're through it. I'll sit down with Brent, figure out, then we'll make the decisions going forward that, are best for the program. But, I'm glad that at least we have an opportunity to sit down and definitively, rather than speculate, we could talk about what it actually looks like. So we just haven't had time, Bruce. We've been busy, so. All right, guys. Have a good one.